What's up, guys? Pete from the basement here at Comic-Con with the legendary Darryl DMC McDaniels. Welcome to Comic-Con,
Pete, what's going on? Glad to be here. Glad to be here. Hey, what's up, Pete? Pete and Pete.
Having a good show so far?
Yes, I am. It's amazing. Everybody was asking me, what's so special about New York City Comic-Con? I was like, it's like the Super Bowl on steroids.
So, tell us about this comic book. What's going on here? This is your first adventure with the comics.
It's the DMC graphic novel comic, and basically, before hip-hop came over the bridge, changed a little Catholic school kid's life, I was just a normal little kid, honor roll student, 5 or 6 stars on the forehead, you know what I'm saying, always on the teacher's list. But it was school and it was comic books. That was my whole existence. Then hip-hop comes over the bridge, touches the little Catholic school kid's life, so then it was comic books and hip-hop. And what I used to do with the comic books, Marvel was always it for me because I lived in New York City, but I couldn't go nowhere. So Marvel had my favorite superheroes, but it would also show me places in New York City that I heard about, but I never could go. I was one of those kids, you be in that house when that sun going down. So Marvel was like my whole existence. Batman was cool, Superman was cool, Flash was cool, DC was cool, but Marvel was like real to me. So I used to take my pencil and tracing paper, and it's funny that all the artists that draw comic books say, yo, that's the same way we started. I used to trace my favorite Marvel superheroes. But then one day I was able to do it without using the tracing paper. So if you listen to King of Rock, DJ Run says, I'm DJ Run, I could scratch. I go, I'm DMC, I could draw. So even in '85, that was the second album, I was still talking about my comic book love. But eventually what happened was I had to put the pencil down because I had to focus on rocking the microphone. But comics was always there. It inspired me. It was my motivation, even creatively as a writer. If you listen to my records, I'm the devastating. You had the Amazing Spider-Man, Invincible Iron Man, Incredible Hulk. I was the devastating mind-controlling DMC. Crash through walls, come through floors, bust through. Everything I wrote, everything I delivered. People say, if you listen to my delivery, if you listen to my flow, if you listen to the content, read a comic book and then go not listen to DMC. All my courage and my power in hip-hop came from the confidence and strength that was given to me by comic books.
That is one of the most fantastic analogies I've ever heard. I love the fact that you took all of the inspiration and all of the adjectives and everything and just threw it into your work.
I would not be rhyming in front of you people if it wasn't for comic books. When Run came over my house, he was like, yo, D, I'm going to put you in my group. Now, I thought we were just going to make a record and nobody was going to see me. But then when I realized I had to get out there in front of the people, I had to have something giving me strength. So it was the influence, it was the inspiration that I was getting from comic books. Because when you think about comic books, the reason why I was a good student in school, even in the 70s, when I was a little kid, they thought it was something wrong with being a geek. They thought it was something wrong with being a nurse, to the point where he's strange because he read comic books. But think about it like this. The reason why I was a good student because I was reading comic books. Now, everybody always say comic books is make-believes, but it's real to me. Why? I would learn history in school, but I would come home, Captain America would take me to World War II. I would learn about science and biology in school, but the Avengers and the Vision and Ultron and Iron Man would take me. It would actually allow me to live what I was learning in life. So academically, and even as a person, when I would hear a beat, I would go, okay, what would the Hulk do? And I would attack the beat like the Hulk. Or there was a beat that was a little slick and smooth and quick. I would say, okay, what would Peter Parker do to this beat? And people used to say, yo, it was crazy, because I was like, my first publicist said, it was amazing to be in a dressing room with mild-mannered Darryl McDaniels sitting there with my school books and my art books, but I would transform into the mighty King of Rock. So everything that makes superheroes, without me thinking these comic books was affecting me, was applied to life. And I didn't just become a rapper. I became the king of all rappers, one of the best to do it ever. And that was because power, confidence, and education was given to me from the comic books. So before the DMC thing, I was a comic book dude. So now I'm just letting people know it's cool to be a nerd.
It is the age of the nerd now.
Yes, it's cool to be a nerd.
Tell us what your book's about.
This book here is based in the 80s-like universe. And what I mean by the 80s-like universe, it looks like the 80s, but is it? Could be the future. But the reason why, the reason why we put it in the 80s-like universe is the old school wasn't a time period. It was a concept of you presenting yourself artistically, musically, or with your fashion, or whatever you was writing. It was about style. So in this universe, there's other superheroes running around, but they got ulterior motives. There's the superhero that is like, pay me and I'll defend your city. There's the superhero that says, I only defend for the black people. And there's the superhero that says, I only defend for the white people. And there's the superhero that says, I don't believe in unity, and I don't like women having rights. But people know DMC is the superhero that's for everybody. So in this universe, all the problems that exist today, all the problems that exist back in the day, and all the problems to come is what DMC is fighting to make better, just like I did with my music. And the whole theme of this book is, we need a real superhero that wants everything to be right. And that's what DMC is fighting for. It's not DMC the rapping superhero. That's corny. In this universe, Darryl McDaniels, Hollis, Queens, New York, Catholic school kid, straight A, I grew up to become DMC. I don't meet running this universe. But in this book, same guy, Darryl McDaniels, I grew up and find out I got superpowers. And I go out there and just like I did with the microphone, just like I did with the hip hop, I'm about to change the world.
That's fantastic, man. Lots of luck with this. Where can people find this?
October 29th in every comic book store in the world, globally.
That is awesome, guys. Check it out. DMC by the legendary Darryl McDaniels. Go look for this, pick it up, and take a trip back to the 80s.
Salvador Shuman did the cover, too.
Lots of luck, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, yo, what's up, yo? Me, DMC, and the place to be. And the only place for me to be is in Pete's basement. The place to be.